With the successful quest of Savage Opress to find his lost brother Maul on the planet of Lotho Minor, the Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi knew that they were hunting for revenge, and initially being lured to the planet of Raydonia, he failed to apprehend either of the Zabraks on his trip to the planet, despite the help of the Dathomirian Asajj Ventress, the latter of whom had discovered a bounty on the head of Savage. But this was far from the last of their encounters, and after the brothers had widened their influence on the criminal world, the Jedi respond to a disturbance on the planet of Florrum. With Jedi Master Adi Gallia, Obi-Wan aimed to put a stop to the massacre, but after his fellow council member is killed by Savage, Obi-Wan is forced to battle the two Zabraks alone. Equipped with two lightsabers, the Jedi Master managed to repel both of the dark side users, and forced to retreat with the help of Hondo Ohnaka's pirates. But what if Obi-Wan had died on Florrum? Would this accelerate Anakin's turn to the dark side? As you're about to discover, the death of Obi-Wan would have changed the plans of both light and dark. Despite attempting to resist the darkness, the death of Master Gallia ignited a fire within Obi-Wan, and summoning a fallen lightsaber with the Force, he ignored the calls from Hondo to retreat to his base. But with the brothers starting to whittle down the number of pirates, Obi-Wan is forced to retreat to the underground tunnels, where Hondo had set up a series of explosives to block their path. Unfortunately for the Jedi Master, he had been too late, as the walls began to detonate around him, and he found himself being pinned down by the rocks, leaving him trapped. Maul stood over his old foe with Savage waiting, and declaring that he had finally created his chance of revenge. The former Sith first sliced off his legs, mirroring his own fate on Naboo, then ordered Savage to free the Jedi Master. Lifting the rocks off of Obi-Wan, Maul started to choke the Jedi Master, then impaled him with his lightsaber. Obi-Wan slumped to the floor, as Hondo ordered for more explosives to be placed around them, and it forced Maul and Savage shared back to their ship. The leader of the pirate gang ordered his subordinates to carry the remains of Obi-Wan back to his ruined base, where they tried to transmit a message to the Jedi Council. Those at the temple on Coruscant had felt the deaths of Obi-Wan and Master Gallia, and mournfully allowing Hondo's transmission to pass through, the Jedi offered to take the bodies of the Jedi Masters. Yoda's about to dispatch one of the Jedi to head to Florrum, but Mace Windu revealed that the starfighters of Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano had already left the temple hangar. The two Jedi had been fueled by the dark side since the death of Obi-Wan, and hunting for Maul and Savage, they order for the clone troopers to track their escape craft off of the planet. Landing in the depths of Hondo's base to retrieve the fallen masters, the Jedi then convene in a Venser-class Star Destroyer to preserve their bodies on their return to Coruscant. But Anakin and Ahsoka do not return to the temple, as a report from the lava planet of Mustafar revealed the brothers had paid a visit to the Black Sun base, and the Jedi tracked their last moves. Upon their arrival, the fortress is littered with Black Sun guards and faction leaders, and as Clone Trooper Kix examines the wounds, he finds them to be only several days old. But rather curiously, they spot blaster wounds on some of the bodies, and Rex deduces that they were not those of a clone trooper. Moving towards the table that had previously belonged to the faction's leaders, they see the hologram of Maul, Savage and Vizsla killing those who had refused to comply with their offer, and revealed that their next destination was now Hutta. If Anakin did not already have an incentive to kill Maul and Savage, this was his chance to eliminate those who had been responsible for his enslavement on Tatooine. Alongside Ahsoka, they swiftly moved to the palace of Garjula the Hutt, where the Council of the Hutts usually met. With the intelligence from Mustafar, Anakin and Ahsoka can hear the voices of Maul and his subordinates, conversing with the Hutt Council. Suddenly, the Jedi hear a commotion from above them, and it is Bo-Katan and the Night Owls firing at the building, and avoiding being caught in the crossfire, they barge into the council chamber, and aided by the guards and bounty hunters, Maul and Savage dismiss the Night Owls, and pointing their blades, he taunted the Jedi for the death of Obi-Wan. Anakin and Ahsoka were not moved, and locking blades with the Zabraks, the two Jedi pushed the brothers, and they used their new dark side powers to push them into the crumbling walls of the palace. Maul does not believe the Jedi are capable of killing him, but at the sight of the gleaming yellow eyes of the Jedi, he ordered his army into retreat. Giving chase to the Night Owls and the Zabraks, the Jedi used their combined might to try and pull the escaping ships from the skies, but retreating fire from Bo-Katan forces them to back off. But Anakin and Ahsoka would not be stopped, for the revenge on Obi-Wan even if those across the galaxy needed their help. Watching with great disgust at the ships of Maul, Savage and their army disappearing, the two Jedi returned to the Hutt's council chamber, where 3 of the leaders remained. Looking terrified at the hate-fueled Jedi, Anakin and Ahsoka coldly slashed across their enormous torsos, before pointing to the holograms of Jabba and Gorga and placing them next on their list of victims. Crushing the holoprojector in front of them, the remaining Gamorrean guards all freeze in fear, unable to prevent the Jedi heading back to their ships and flying towards Tatooine. On the journey, Anakin is displeased to receive a hologram from Grandmaster Yoda, and he orders the 2 Jedi to join the rest of the 501st Legion in aiding Lux Bonteri and his insurgents on Onderon. Ahsoka briefly considers it, but she understood the significance of Anakin returning to his home planet after Obi-Wan had told her about how his Padawan had failed to put behind the shadows of his past. In their attempts to surface adjacent to the single road that led to the doorstep of Jabba's palace, when the infamous sandstorms are picked up at exactly the wrong time, and having to land in a barren area of the Dune Sea, the Jedi shield themselves from the sand. As they trundle to Jabba's palace, the Jedi suddenly hear a voice, and turning back to the cone of sand in the air, they manage to discern the voice of Obi-Wan. Anakin believed this to be some kind of Sith trick, but the Jedi Master revealed that Qui-Gon had been training him to transcend life after death. Obi-Wan had reflected upon the failings of the Jedi Order, and Anakin and Ahsoka were right not to follow all of the orders of the Council. Reaffirming that Anakin was indeed the chosen one, it was up to him to decide the fate of the Jedi and the Sith, and disappearing into the wind, the sand soon cleared for the Jedi to enable them to start to breach the defences of Jabba's palace. Using mind tricks to bypass the dozy guards, Anakin and Ahsoka can hear a rumbling beneath their feet, and Anakin warned his Padawan of the notorious rancor that Jabba used for his enemies, and sidestepping the central pit, they pointed their blades at the mighty sleeping Hutt. Jabba burbled awake and ordered his bounty hunters to attack them, but Anakin opened the rancor pit with his lightsaber, leaving his Padawan to push their enemies into death. Combining to pierce their lightsabers through the powerful crime lord, the Jedi wordlessly lever the corpse into the rancor pit, then set course for Onderon, leaving Tatooine until there were further political developments. The Jedi joined Rex and the 501st Legion, who had already been working on training the rebels, but eager for more blood on their blade, Anakin and Ahsoka order for the central power station to be destroyed, gaining the confidence of the population. Eliminating any of the droidekas and commando droids that dare to cross their path, they manage to take charge of an armoured assault tank, before causing the city to descend into darkness. Whilst the rebels began to eliminate all of the other droids, the Jedi sent a darkness in the air, and ordering for Rex to secure the planet's shield generators, they navigated the streets to a central square, where the temporary King Rash stood with Count Dooku. The Sith apprentice had heard about the exploits of the Jedi on both Nal Hutta and Tatooine, and almost impressed by their efforts, he offers for them to join him and to complete what Ventress could not. The Master and Padawan have no interest in joining the traitorous Sith, and igniting their blades, Dooku wanted to cut through Ahsoka, but Anakin did not allow him to do so, repelling his lightning attack, then forcing him into the walls of the palace. With their Master appearing to have his battle under control, Ahsoka hears the footsteps of the 501st Legion and the Onderon rebels, so leads an attack on the Unifar temple and put King Denda back on his throne. The puppet King Rash is captured by the rebels, and with the population of Onderon emerging from their homes to join the fighting, Dooku is forced to retreat before Anakin killed him. As the Jedi clean up the wreckage that they had caused, ARC Trooper 5s ran to Anakin and relayed to him that the Jedi Council wished to speak to him. Yoda reveals that Duchess Satine had spoken to the Jedi Council, having just returned to Mandalore from Obi-Wan's funeral, pleading for their help, with Maul attacking the planet. Yoda urges the Jedi to not go to the planet, fearful that their presence would disturb the neutral position of the Republic, but Anakin and Ahsoka decide to do the exact opposite, as they saw this as a chance for revenge. Leaving the clones behind to somewhat satisfy the orders of the Council, the two Jedi had told Maul about their mission from Bo-Katan, who had separated from Maul's army after he had defeated Vizsla in the palace throne room. The Jedi thus disguised themselves as Mandalorian commandos, and choking Maul's guards, they removed their suits of armour and ignited their blades. This time the brothers would not leave until they were dead. Having previously failed to defeat the brothers, Anakin had a plan on this occasion, and trusting his Padawan's skills to hold off Maul, Anakin leapt at Savage. The Jedi Knight could sense the unrefined technique of Savage, and methodically cutting off his arm then shattering his knees, the Jedi Knight soon had the dark side user on the floor. As the Night Sister magic flowed out of his lifeless body, Maul let out a feral scream, and pushing Ahsoka into the windows of the palace, he was met by the equally determined Anakin. Wielding his darksaber, Maul tried to use his hate for the Jedi Knight, but he could not find a way past Anakin's onslaught. Ordering for his army to attack the Jedi, Bo-Katan had been waiting for such an order, and firing back at the Super Commandos, it allowed a mysterious hooded figure to enter the battle before Maul could escape again. To the shock of the hobbling Ahsoka, it is our friend Barriss Offee joining the hate-fueled plight of the two Jedi, and with Anakin, they managed to pin Maul to the seat of his throne. The former Sith asked them if they wanted to know the truth behind the Sith and the war, and moving his lightsaber closer to the neck of Maul, Anakin ordered him to reveal everything he knew. Briefly hesitating, his throat started to constrict, but looking behind them, they only saw a shadow of a figure moving away. Anakin asks Bo-Katan to track the killer, and raising all of their defences, the Jedi return to a rendezvous point outside of the planet's system. Tracking every ship that left Mandalore, the three Jedi receive a transmission from the Jedi Council again, and this time it revealed that Coruscant had just resorted to its emergency power generators. Anakin knew that Maul's killer managed to slip through their defences, and all taking their starfighters to Coruscant, they find that the darkened planet was now in the shadow of the Separatists. Unable to bypass the dreadnought in front of them, Anakin, Ahsoka and Barriss are forced to land on the flagship of General Grievous, where they hope to find both the cyborg droid General and Dooku. Discovering the ship to be unusually defenceless, they walk through the open doors to the bridge and crush the battle droid in the air. The Separatist leaders turned around, surprised that somebody had managed to get behind their fleet, but Grievous saw this as an opportunity to add more lightsabers to his vast collection. Ordering his Jedi killer to eliminate the intruders, Dooku then turned to his tactical droids on the other ships to commence their fire, and the combatants were thrown off balance by the Republic fleet. Having heard all about fighting Grievous from his master, this was a battle that Anakin simulated many times, but the speed was still intense, and this was sensed by Ahsoka and Barriss, who were pushed into the controls of the ship. Dooku was about to kill the recovering Jedi, but they had inadvertently changed the course of the ship, placing it in the direct firing line of the primary Republic destroyer. The windows of the bridge soon caved in, and as Dooku scrambled to an escape pod, the three Jedi fought their way back to their starfighters, leaving Grievous to fly out into the battle and fall prey to the crossfire, despite his best attempts to join his master. Returning to the smouldering galactic city, the Jedi quickly arranged themselves to launch a counterattack, and going to protect the Chancellor on the orders of Mace Windu, they enter the turbo lift to repair in his office. Anakin is utterly stunned by what he saw, as Palpatine was talking to Dooku about how they were going to defeat the Jedi. Accusing the Chancellor of being a traitor to the Republic, Palpatine points to the Jedi as the traitors, and firing a lightning attack at Barriss and Ahsoka, they are knocked out by the impact with his Daughty statues. Ordering Dooku to kill Anakin, Palpatine merely sat and enjoyed the battle, but what he didn't notice was Ahsoka force-pulling a fallen comlink, and alerting the Jedi Council, she hears the rushing footsteps of the Jedi Masters. Palpatine did not even have time to praise Anakin for disarming Dooku, before he's swamped by the Jedi, and as Dooku refers to Palpatine as the real Sith, the Jedi try to cuff Palpatine, but Anakin beats them all by impaling his old mentor. The Jedi are angry at Anakin for not allowing them to interrogate the Sith Lord, and returning to the quarters of Grandmaster Yoda, they hear the voices of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, telling them that Anakin had been right to kill Palpatine. Having completed his revenge, the Jedi Knight helps to rebuild the Senate in Coruscant, then departed the planet to eliminate the remains of the Separatists, then Maul's crime syndicate. Although Anakin soon became a Jedi Master and married Padme, nothing would bring back Obi-Wan. That is it for What If Obi-Wan Died on Florrum. If you enjoyed this What If, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.